Hello and welcome to Who Watches Who for the end of month. Now, our end of month special. Actually, hang on. Before I do that, haha, I remembered. I'm Matthew, and this is Scott, and we're the hosts of Who Watches Who, a Doctor Who podcast. And one day I'll remember to actually intro us properly. But
yes, I'm Scott. Hello.
hello, Scott. This is the end of month, and at the end of every month, instead of doing a Doctor Who episode review thing, we're going to be going over the news and just chatting for a bit, to just round things off about what happened in the month and what's going on and stuff like that.
There's always Doctor Who news, so there's plenty to talk about.
Yeah, usually obscure stuff no one cares about, but us. Before we get into that, we'll just have a wee chat about what's going on. You've been watching anything, Scott, recently?
You start. I can't recall off the top of my head.
I recently started rewatching The Good Place.
Oh damn! One of the best shows.
It's so good. It's my second time watching it because I watched it when it came out originally, and fucking loved it so much. And watching it a second time, it's just as good as I remember it being. It's such a charming little show, you know? It's weird. It's so fucking weird.
I think everybody knows the spoiler at this point.
Yeah.
The Good Place is a bad place. But the fact that we didn't know that Michael was a bad guy when he kicked a dog into the sun is astounding.
I know. It's ridiculous that I'm fucking rewatching it the second time. And I don't get that reaction I did, and it's one of those moments I can never relive because I did not see the twist coming at all, and was like, no fucking way when Michael turned out to be a demon and they were in the bad place, and they it completely sends the show in a different direction than you think it's going in. Like,
the show tends to go in different directions like every 7 episodes. Like, the very start is Eleanor is in this good place. She's not supposed to be there. And you could make an entire show based around that concept, pretty much. It would get boring after a while, but normal TV shows would stretch that concept until like the second season at least.
Until the 10th season, and then they just kind of end.
But The Good Place, like, season 3 is about them returning back to Earth and trying to be good people with their memories wiped. Like, season 4 is about them introducing new people into the cast and trying to make them into better people. It's a really good show.
It's such a good, and the end. It's one of the, not to spoil the ending, but it's the Good Place and BoJack Horseman, 2 shows with perfect endings.
And they're both very similar endings in terms of it's about how toxic people and if people can be forgiven and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're both melancholic endings, but kind of hopeful at the same time.
And they both ended like the same month as well.
Yeah, I know. It was back to back, really sad but good endings. Both Netflix as well. So.
Well, Netflix only releases the show. NBC
in the US and stuff like that, but very, very good.
Well,
I'm thoroughly enjoying going through it again, and I'm probably going to finish it relatively soon. I'm already at the end of season 2. It's so bingeable.
It really is. Like, every episode ends with a major cliffhanger that leads directly into the next, and we're only 20 minutes, so yeah.
And the next episode picks up immediately where the last one ended. So it's tailor made to be watched non-stop. And I'm already at the end of season 2 after like 4 days of watching it, so I'm gonna.
I remember when I first came to the show, it was like midway through series 2, and I watched the first season and a half in like 2 nights. I mean, I had to wait weekly. It was such torture.
Yep. So I'm very much enjoying it, and it's filled that spot because for me, like, I like, the big dramatic shows that are like 40 minutes an episode, but I really struggle to get through them if they're all dropped at once, or if I'm trying to catch up on a show like that.
Yeah.
Unless it's something like Doctor Who. I don't know what it is. I think it's just a pacing thing because each episode's so long, it loses my attention, and who knows why. And I really struggle with it. Like, I still haven't finished the newest season of Umbrella Academy.
Oh god, that came out
I know.
last July.
Yeah, I know. Season 3 is about to come out soon, but I still haven't finished that. I will get round to it. But if something's 20 minutes, I can just have it on and just watch it and be like, cool. Oh wow, I've already finished this show somehow. Except if it's anime. I used to be really into anime. And now I really struggle to get through a simple 12 season show. Or not 12 season. Yeah, I struggle to get through a 12 season show. A 12 episode show. I really struggle to get through a 12 episode show. I don't know why. I think maybe because the format's different. Because it's in Japanese. But even if it's animated, I can deal with Western animation stuff. I don't know what it is. I just struggle with it sometimes. But
Well, The Good Place is a great show. Slightly I've been watching Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Have you heard of that show?
I have literally never heard of that show in my life.
So I'd never watched it for it's 2 seasons deep, and I haven't watched it until recently because I think the concept sounds dumb on paper. It's about a girl named Zoe. She suddenly starts hearing thoughts expressed throughout song. So
Oh my god, I saw the trailer for this.
It's got a weird concept. She hears thoughts throughout songs, it's like pop songs. It actually really works really well. It's actually a really good show. It's really sweet.
Where are you watching it?
I'm using ExpressVPN to watch it on Peacock.
Okay. So it's not available easily in the UK. Is it?
No, I think E4 aired it the first season, but I don't know what's happening in the second season. But it's a really good, solid show. You should give it a watch.
I'll probably get round to it by using Surfshark VPN. That's my VPN of choice.
I hope both of them sponsor a show at the same time.
I hope that'd be great too. Especially Surfshark, not to give anyone any unsolicited advertising. I got a fucking incredible deal with my Surfshark. It was from a sponsor in another YouTube video on Jay Foreman, not Jay Foreman. It was a Mapman video. If you search Mapman, you'll find it. Mapman, one of the greatest YouTube videos ever. YouTube series ever. It's so good. Mapman.
You're speaking gibberish.
But they had a sponsor of Surfshark, and I got 2 years plus 5 months for £20. I was like, yep, I'm going to get that.
Damn, that works.
Yeah. So that was pretty nice. Other than that, I don't have a lot of other stuff going on right now. I've been playing a lot of Tony Hawk remake of Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Skateboarding games, and they're ridiculously addictive. Just arcade shit where I'm trying to get high scores and stuff.
I've never played a single Tony Hawk game in my life.
I played, I think, Tony Hawk 2, Pro Skater 2 that is, when I was a kid on the PlayStation, and that was it. I didn't really get much into skateboarding games after that. I played a bit of Skate 2 as well, actually. I play a lot of video games. But I'm really enjoying it at the moment, and I'm thinking I've also been playing through Psychonauts because Psychonauts 2 is coming out soon, and I'm excited for it. It's a bit of a struggle to get through for me. It's very story heavy, and I really like strategy games or arcade games, I guess. But strategy games, I love Crusader Kings and stuff like that. I'm the god at Crusader Kings. But yeah, I'm having a good time with video games at the moment and just kind of chilling before I become incredibly busy because I have just a bunch of film work lined up all of a sudden because I just finished uni as well. So.
Oh heck yeah! Good luck to you, man.
Such a busy boy, which is why I'm glad we're doing this podcast. And the weirdest thing for me about just this podcast thing is fucking having a backlog of stuff isn't insane. I've always wanted to achieve that backlog with the mess things I do, but those videos are so big and so complicated. The edits take forever, and shooting them takes forever as well. So we end up filming stuff, but then the edit takes like 4 or 5 months to do. So we can never get a backlog in time without having like a team of like 6 editors. We can never get the backlog that I want, that YouTube demands. But having a backlog for this podcast is crazy. We have 4 episodes recorded already.
Yes, we've only been recording for 2 weeks.
And we have a month of content. Crazy. But yeah, other than that, I've not been doing much. Just trying to relax. I'm going on holiday next week up to Wick with some friends.
John Wick.
Yeah. I'm going to go. I'm stalking Keanu Reeves for a week.
Which we'll talk about in the news segment.
We shall. Which, if you don't have anything else to say, we can move on into the news.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say. My life is boring.
Yeah, let's move into the news segment. Kick us off.
So yeah, today Big Finish dropped a massive bombshell.
And today, recording date is the 26th of May.
2 days before this comes out.
2 days before it comes out. So 2 days ago, Big Finish dropped some massive fucking news.
So we're basically doing instead of the monthly releases we're known for, which we did the 5th Doctor Adventures, the 6th, 7th and 8th. We used to be every month you'd get a different Doctor, but this time around for 2022, we're all getting their separate adventure sets, basically. So
that's it. So much more content. So much more than just content.
But the massive news is everybody's getting a box set from the 1st Doctor to the 8th Doctor, as well as obviously the 9th Doctor will still be continuing, and the 10th Doctor will still be appearing in stories. So that's a lot of Doctor Who.
And we need... we'll get into the big news in a second, but I just imagine if they announced Matt Smith coming back,
I would hope they would do that for like the 60th anniversary. That'd be fucking fantastic. Mm-hmm. And we get a story.
I think he'd come back for the TV special. But I want him to come back in audio form as well. I just want more Matt Smith, please. And Capaldi as well. Bring Capaldi back. Yeah,
we need Capaldi in audio dramas because he was really not utilised very well in the actual show.
He had some of my favourite episodes are Capaldi episodes, but yeah, he had probably out of all the Doctors besides Jodi, some of the most bad seasons.
Yeah.
But anyway, the big cool news.
So anyway, the first Doctor is getting a series, 3rd Doctor is getting a series, 4th Doctor's on his 11th series with Tom Baker.
He loves being the Doctor, man, doesn't he?
I think they have him recorded for like the next 5 series. Like, they're probably
he will be the Doctor until he dies. He absolutely adores that role.
Yeah, especially since there was a long period of time where he wanted nothing to do with Doctor Who. Like, he wouldn't appear in the 5 Doctors at all. And now he's just found a new lease on life. It's exciting.
Yeah,
series 11.
That's 11. That's just audio dramas as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of content to get through. I love his voice. What a voice he has.
It will be a sad day when he passes,
will be.
Which will be soon, but
hopefully not too soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully we haven't just cursed the man.
Hopefully not.
But I really him showing up in the 50th anniversary as the caretaker, it's just a bit confusing canon-wise, but it was so charming to see him. Like, he's just so... makes your heart melt when you see him.
Well, did you know Big Finish already have the caretaker, the character in stories?
Of course they do. Of course they do.
This isn't big news, it's been out for a while, but they basically have a stranded series where the 8th Doctor is stuck on Earth and for some reason the curator is there. So Paul McGann and Tom Baker together.
Good stuff. We'll cover it at some point. There's a lot of stuff to cover.
There really is. But the big news is the second Doctor Adventures is called Beyond War Games. Now, Matthew, you might be asking what the hell this means.
Yeah, how can you be beyond a war game? And what is a war game? Those are my big questions.
So the War Games is an episode where the second Doctor regenerates. We don't see the regeneration. He's forced to regenerate by the Time Lords. And during this...
I was just about to say, I'm looking forward to covering that, because that's a clip I've only ever seen when people talk about that regeneration. I don't know much about it. So.
The War Games is a great episode. It's like... the Doctor and his companions are trapped throughout different war periods, and there's like a War Master. Not the Master, but a War Master.
Like the War Doctor.
Well, back to Big Finish. Derek Jacobi, who played the Master briefly in Utopia.
Yes.
He's now got a Big Finish series, and his name is the War Master.
Amazing. I bet it's a really good series. He was fun as the Master for the brief time that he was there.
He's great. I need to listen to that box set. So anyway, during the 60s, there was a TV comic that published Doctor Who stories. And they didn't know what to do during this period of the TV show, with the second Doctor season ending and the third Doctor starting. So they just started making up storylines that took place after the War Games. So for a time, the second Doctor lived the high life as a celebrity based in London's swanky Carlton Grange Hotel. He travelled the earth, responded to calls received via the Carlton Grange switchboard with an area unit soldier in sight. One day, conveniently around the time Spearhead from Space aired on TV, he was a celebrity panellist on Explain My Mystery, a game show of sorts that asked experts to explain supernatural phenomena. Unable to diagnose the caller's mystery over a phone, the Doctor went into the English countryside to a farm. There, in the deep of night, scarecrows animated by the Time Lords captured him and forced him to regenerate. Then they send the TARDIS on one last journey, leaving the reader to believe that when the Doctor arrived, he'd felt the TARDIS as the third Doctor in the first episode, Spearhead from Space. So yeah, there's like a weird history between... So like, fan theories start speculating about like, in the two Doctors, the Doctor and Jamie appear older than they did in the second Doctor Adventures in the TV show. And it believes, and also in the second Doctor, in the two Doctors, I mean, Jamie suddenly knows about the Time Lords, even though he shouldn't know that information, leading fans to believe but somehow so this is all fan fiction, basically.
This makes me think, right? Because every fandom gets this, but I think Doctor Who, because it's such a long-running sci-fi series, it gets some really obsessed fans, some of whom start Doctor Who podcasts, but we don't talk about those weirdos, where like people start nitpicking things that timeline-wise that don't make sense, and Doctor Who's timeline makes no fucking sense. And that's what I like about Big Finish, is they try to patch some of the holes and expand on stuff that doesn't quite fit together, but this is sounding so fucking obscure and weird and complicated. All I can think of is the Simpsons reference when there's a bunch of nerds pointing out flaws in the sci-fi show, and the lady just gets like, it's like, a wizard did it. And whenever something in the show doesn't make sense to you, a wizard did it.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. There's even like a fan movie made in 1995 that attempts to bridge the two gaps, and John Pertwee even appears in this fan movie.
Amazing.
But the thing is, the fan movie hasn't been finished yet. It was recorded in 1995, and they only released the first episode in like 2018. And
that's insane.
And they've released episode 2 last year, and we hope to release episode 3 this year. It's weird.
Is it good at least? Should we cover it on the podcast?
I haven't seen it. I have only seen episode 1 when it first came out. I don't remember it being the best, but it was interesting. But we need to finish it first in order for us to cover it.
Make sense of it, yeah.
But yeah, John Pertwee, last appearance as the Doctor, was in this weird-ass fan film. Also, if this sounds familiar, it's kind of like the Morbius Doctor theory. But
What's that theory?
it was, well, in the brain of Morbius, the Doctor and the villain of the episode, Morbius, go into like a mind-reading device, and we see the Doctor iterations flash appear on screen, and then suddenly we see people who aren't the Doctor. This was later retconned into the Timeless Child.
Of course. Oh my god, yeah, I remember you mentioning that. Yeah, when you see like a bunch of people that yeah. I know what you're talking about now. So
yeah,
I guess the Timeless Child kind of makes sense in that aspect.
Doctor Who canon just breaks my brain.
When you try to make sense of one thing, you end up breaking 10 other things.
Like, something as simple as the Doctor regenerating now is like a Big Finish audio drama. But yeah, it's exciting times for Doctor Who. Just you can pre-order all of them for £237.
Which sounds like a lot of money, but usually Big Finish pricing is insane. They are not cheap audio dramas. I mean, like, fair dues as well. Like, they're super high quality, but they're not cheap. But so 225 for that whole series. It's a lot of content.
Yeah,
a lot of highly produced content.
It's pretty much most of our titles for the year as well. It's really solid pricing. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well,
I look forward to covering it on the show. We'll have to cover the Thunderdome thing, whatever it's called. Not Thunderdome, that's Mad Max.
War Games?
War Games.
Yes. It'll be probably a two-parter because it's a massive 10-part story.
Going to be good. Can't wait.
Do you want to cover the next story?
Sure. Do you want to do information about the Ninth Doctor adventure?
Hell yes.
Cool. I'm just going to read this paragraph you've written lovely for me. So, Big Finish have announced that the next installment of the Ninth Doctor adventures are going to be entitled Respond to All Calls. This second volume is going to see the Doctor take the TARDIS signage quite literally, as he answers cries from help from across galaxies, and in doing so, he's going to meet, fuck me, Seraphim, a lighter-than-air alien species, the first and second incorporation, representatives of business-obsessed race from the dawn of time, and artificial intelligence called Fred. Now, there's two things that stand out to me in there. Representatives of a business-obsessed race from the dawn of time make me think of the fucking whatchamacallthems from Hitchhikers. The guys that blow up the Earth.
You're on your own for this one. I haven't seen that in ages.
Fuck. I'm reading the books. I should know this. Who blows up the Earth? Hitchhikers. The Vogons. And the Vogons are like these like bureaucratic, big beefy boys that really love business and doing things like businessy and bureaucratically.
Yes.
That's what that makes me think of. And seeing the Doctor in that type of thing.
A connection to Hitchhikers. Do you remember when Peter Davison was in Hitchhikers, the original TV show?
I've never seen the original TV show, although it is on BritBox. So
you should watch it. It's okay.
The interesting thing about Hitchhikers, right? And I love how this is the second time I'm mentioning Hitchhikers. Is the fucking... It started off as a radio drama, as you probably know.
Yeah.
Then it got turned into a book, and there were some changes between the radio drama and the book. And then it got turned into a TV show, and apparently there were some changes between the TV show and the book. And then it got turned into a movie, and there's a lot of changes between the movie and the book. And this was done entirely on purpose by Douglas Adams. He didn't want any of them to be the same. He wanted them to have slight differences, so that you could, one, have a refreshing take on it, and two, just to, I guess, spice things up. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Wonderful writer Douglas Adams, who apparently hated writing. So.
Relatable.
Also, artificial intelligence called Fred is probably the most British joke possible. Like, where you have like this giant sciencey thing, and you see it all the time
Yeah.
in countless comedy sci-fi things, where it's like, oh, I'm. What was I watching recently? Oh no, I was playing Psychonauts, which is a British game, and fucking there's this giant fish monster thing, and you find out its name, and it's like my real name is Linda. Like, there's just something about giving giant sci-fi monsters or corporations really just normal names that's always funny. Like,
Yeah.
and my last point about reading that little paragraph there, Seraphine probably leads into my least favorite aspect of Doctor Who that Chibnall's really guilty of.
Yeah.
And also kind of Russell T Davies as well. Really complicated, long alien names that literally mean nothing. Like, there's a really bad Chibnall episode, The Battle of Roxablasher, blah, blah, blah,
Oh my god, yes.
and it's nonsense. It's just, oh, this is a big nonsense word.
Yeah.
Like, I much prefer the aliens to be called Bill and Bob than to be called Zarn Flaxner and
At least with Russell T Davies, he did it as a joke with Blackso Laboratorious.
yeah.
I gave up halfway.
Yeah. Yeah, Russell T Davies did it as a joke, but he still did it. Whereas, fucking, I think Chibnall does it unironically because he thinks it's cool. But I don't want to badmouth Chibnall too much because, you know, maybe he'll give me a job.
I think we've
never
mentioned Chibnall every episode.
Every episode. I can't escape him. Man. He haunts my dreams. But if you're listening to this, Chibnall, because I know you're obsessed with listening to every fan podcast, and you're not busy at all doing anything important, give me a job. I promise I'll stop badmouthing you. Give me a job.
But yeah, the Ninth Doctor adventures are exciting. I'm excited to hear more.
I'm looking forward to hear more. And what I'm hoping with these ones is they're going to be less time fucky.
Yeah, I think they're going to be single episodes from what I understand, so
Yeah,
it should be
much more like episodic little adventures to go on.
I think that's what... I'm not sure, I think that's kind of what we should have opened up with, and then we could have gone to the more complicated stuff after, because we don't connect for anthology stories, so...
Yeah, I agree completely. Completely agree. Because that's such a complicated story to open things with, but it's the way the wind blows. So, in other news, Big Finish news, while we're on the Big Finish hype train, a very both good and kind of sad news from Big Finish. Mainly good. It is the annual competition for Big Finish writing, where everybody honors the death of producer Paul Spragg, with a yearly competition where you write your best Doctor Who story you can, and it gets turned or published even. Does it get turned into an audio drama as well, or does it just get published?
It gets turned into an audio book, as far as I'm aware.
That's still pretty fucking cool. Which information can be found about it on the Big Finish website. Basically, write your best Doctor Who story if you can and submit it, and it could get published as a official quote unquote canon of of Doctor Who. And I would love to give this a go because I fucking love writing, but I don't know which Doctor I would choose to
Yeah,
write
same.
as.
I would need like a whole year to think about it.
Yeah, I would. I mean, which we could start thinking for next year's competition.
Yeah.
But I don't know which Doctor I'd choose, and I don't know. I don't know if I'd get it to a point where I'm happy enough with it. I'm pretty self-critical with, especially if it was Doctor Who, but it would be a cool thing to accomplish. So definitely give it a go if you think you've got the chops.
Like in the past, people haven't won and they've still gotten experiences to work within Big Finish and meet Nicholas Briggs and all that.
Yeah, it's super cool.
It's pretty awesome that they do this kind of competition. Like, just allow fans to be creative and just allowing people to do stuff with the franchise.
Yeah, it's, Doctor Who and Big Finish and Doctor Who audio drama stuff. It's stuff you don't see with other TV shows that Doctor Who has the unique joy of having. And being, like, Doctor Who's one of the few shows that I know about that still does competitions as well.
Yeah.
Not as much as they used to. The TV show used to do competitions all the fucking time. Like, to get on the show and stuff like that. Like, there was that kid that won a competition and got chopped
Yeah,
up and turned into
it
a
was
ball.
all connected to Blue Peter when Blue Peter
Yeah.
was a proper thing. Now Blue Peter is just like, is Blue Peter even still on?
I couldn't tell you. I haven't watched live TV in many moons. But in direct opposite news, that's kind of depressing. The BBC's been cracking down hard on Doctor Who shit at the moment. Basically, the BBC has continuously been copyrighting Doctor Who fan videos. Billy Garrett John made a fan recording of an unmade 30th anniversary special script called Dark Dimensions that was forced down after 3 months. He then turned it into an audio drama, and the BBC took that down too. It's kind of shitty. I kind of get why they took it down, because BBC owned that script, and maybe they want to do some shit with it. But also, the BBC are scumbags, and fuck them.
Yeah. I don't think they wanted to do anything with it. It's been sitting in a closet. Well, it's been leaked years ago, and it's been sitting in a closet doing nothing. Instead of it, it was an interesting idea. It was like a really dark Cyberman story, I guess, with multiple doctors. And then instead we got like a crossover with EastEnders. No joke.
I said the BBC are shit. Fuck them. Specifically, fuck the people in charge of the BBC because they're a bunch of transphobic bastards. But I like the content the BBC produces. Besides the transphobic shit. Also, Mr. TARDIS, I assume YouTuber.
Yes, he's great. Watch him if you can.
He did a reaction to Jodi being cast as the Doctor, which BBC used in a promo video for it. And then the next day they gave him a copyright strike. So
yeah, it's really
good stuff.
It was like a manual copyright strike as well. It wasn't automatic at all. See, the BBC, especially during this time where we're in between seasons and there's office depressing news about John Barrowman and Noel Clarke, we need something good, and instead we just fuck around with fans trying to keep the franchise alive. And fans have always been able to keep the franchise alive. Like during the 90s, like all these books were made, Big Finish was created, the show came back because of a fan. Like
There was that great song that they made.
Doctor in Distress.
SOS, yeah. I'll play a clip of that here because it's phenomenal.
Doctor in distress. Let's all answer his SOS. Doctor in distress. Bring him back now, we won't take less.
Such a good song.
But yeah,
it's kind of shitty about the BBC.
Yeah, the fans have done so much for the show, and we just it's bad. It's weird.
Yeah, but the BBC are weirdly like to be isolated from stuff. I guess they just like to have their own branding and things, which is why I find Big Finish so interesting as a concept, because it doesn't really have much association with the BBC. You know, the BBC do basically nothing to promote it.
Yeah.
If you're not a fan of Doctor Who and aren't actively looking out for this stuff, you're probably not going to find it.
We've seen proper promotion over the years. With Time Lord Victorious was a huge thing.
When they do big stuff like that, yeah. But Time Lord Victorious is so fucking complicated. It's so big.
I need to start listening to it.
But I've totally forgotten what my point was.
Sorry.
Yeah, you know, the BBC, they do okay. The isolation stuff, but like with their, like the BBC produce podcasts and things like that, and instead of putting them where they could be available everywhere, they put them on BBC Sounds. They have to have their own special site for BBC stuff only, it's just a, I think, kind of backwards look at how content should be, and you see this with a lot of TV channel stuff. They haven't, like, you know, we're pretty deep, like far into internet culture at this point. You should understand how things kind of should be, but TV are still kind of dragging their feet on, you know, reaction videos, people actually using content under fair use as like to critique it and talk about it and stuff like that. They still copyright strike it because it's so easy to do, and because I feel like they don't actively understand how it's benefiting them as promotion. And the video game industry actually was the really early adopters of this shit with Let's Plays, where people play Let's Plays to go through games, and you see it affects sales in a positive way. People will watch someone play games and then go, oh fuck, I want to play that game too. Even if they watch them play the whole game, they will still go and buy that game, and it affects sales in a positive way. I think you could get the same with TV shows. I'm not saying stream whole TV shows on YouTube, because that's insane. But, you know, allow reaction videos, allow fair use, critiques, stuff like that. And it'll have a more positive impact than the constant negative impact you get whenever you flag down like something someone's poured their heart into because they love the show and happen to use 5 seconds of Doctor Who music.
Yeah. It's not a good sign from the BBC, especially during a time like Jodie Whittaker isn't the most popular Doctor, and any kind of promotion you can get from fans is important for the show.
It's not to say that Jodie doesn't do well. She does
Yes.
really well in the ratings and stuff like that. It's just you know, there's obviously horrible sexist people that will take any excuse they can to try and belittle and make her show seem like it's going to be doing bad and getting cancelled, and it's the worst it's ever been. So getting positive information out about the show and trying to, you know, get people as interested in Doctor Who as they used to be it's kind of a pointless fight, because it's never going to be to that level. But I can dream, Harold.
Who's Harold?
I was making an Astif movie reference. Buy me more jewelry. No, it's not that. It's oh my god, I don't remember the entire quote, but it's, honey, you're a chair. I can dream, Harold. Like,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
you never seen Astif movie?
No.
Oh my god, that was like my childhood. They still Tomska still makes it, man. Tomska's like Tomska is one of my biggest inspirations for YouTube stuff. Mainly Ed's World. I like to think of Mess as like a live action Ed's World sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love Astif movie. I love Tomska.
Subscribe to
Love him.
Mess.
Yeah, and Tomska if you haven't. He's wonderful and better at making stuff than I am. So 2 trailers dropped the other day. Not directly Doctor Who related, but they have Doctor Who people in them. So, and it was funny that they dropped at the same time, basically. Do you want to take one and I'll take the other, Scott?
Sure. The first trailer is Last Night in Soho with director Edgar Wright.
I'm so excited.
I am as well. I love Edgar Wright. Who we find out next week he was supposed to direct Rose at one point. So Last Night in Soho is about a young woman who is passionate about fashion design. Mysteriously enters London in 1966, where she encounters her idol, played by Matt Smith, I think. He's a dazzling wannabe singer, but in 1966 London is not what it seems, and time seems to fall apart with shady consequences. So yeah, Matt Smith is in this timey-wimey movie.
Not just that, it's apparently a straight-up horror film. It might have some comedy elements, but it's not going to be like Shaun of the Dead, where that's like comedy with horror. This is going to be a horror movie, and that from Edgar Wright seems fucking amazing.
I'm so excited. He has such a good track record. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, At World's End, Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver.
Spaced, his TV show that got him started, amazing, still holds up. Good.
I still need to watch that.
It's so good. Yeah, I cannot wait for this film. Comes out 29th of October in the US, in the UK, sorry, and the 22nd in the US. Those fucking bastards. They get it a few days early.
I am excited.
I can't wait. Check out the trailer if you haven't. The next film is Gunpowder Milkshake. Do you like John Wick? Here's more, but he's a girl now. A secret sisterhood of female assassins over the course of a single night fight to stop a cycle of sorry, you're typing, I can't read. A secret sisterhood of female assassins over the course of a single night fight to stop a cycle of violence while coming to the aid of a mother-daughter assassin duo. And this film is starring Karen Gillan. So we're getting Stephen Moffat's Doctor Who cast are everywhere except for Rory, who does the TV show, the DC TV show.
Oh, he left that ages ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna. I assume he's doing theater at the moment then.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward. This it looks fun. It's very much of the John Wick themed movies that we've been getting recently with John Wick 2, John Wick 3,
Atomic Blonde,
Atomic Blonde, Nobody, and now Gunpowder Milkshake, and John Wick 4 is coming out as well.
And 5.
So yeah, and The Matrix coming as well. The Matrix. So there's a lot of action movies coming out, and this looks like it should be fun. I really like the lighting specifically in the trailer. There's a lot of like purples and blues and neon stuff going on, which I'm a big sucker for.
Yeah, so am I. I just love everything neon, apart from Riverdale.
Yeah, it's getting directed by let's try and pronounce this right. Navot Papashado or Navo Papashado or Navo Papu. I don't know how to say this. I'm very white, so. But she is, or he is, sorry, Israeli director, and this is apparently his first English film. So it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. I think it's going to be good. Apparently, it's releasing on Netflix in America on the 14th of July, and unknown when or where it's coming in the UK at the moment. So VPN that, or on the 14th, Surfshark VPN.
Express VPN.
Sponsor us. It looks fun, but I'm out of the two of them.
I
Last
love
Night in
Karen.
Soho. That's like
Yeah.
movie of the year prop potential.
Both trailers dropped as I was watching the 11th hour. Fucking wild.
Yeah. You manifested both of them into the universe. But we'll end our news show to this month, because these are monthly, aren't they?
Yep.
With some speculation. Is Jodi leaving Doctor Who? Is she leaving, Scott?
Well, she says it's too upsetting to think about, so probably not. I don't know.
I'm still.
What do you think?
I'm still under the assumption she's going to leave. I don't think at the end of this season. I think she's going to finish doing this season, and then there's going to be a small gap. She's going to decide, yeah, I'm done with the show, and they'll announce it at the New Year's special. She's regenerating. That's my theory.
I think she's at the point where she wants to stay on just a little bit more. I don't think she's quite found her footing in the role yet, and that's not her fault. It's very much down to the scripts being a bit wishy-washy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's gonna stay.
I would like her to stay, mainly because I'm really sick of the pattern of 3 seasons regeneration. I would like that pattern to be broken, and having a Doctor stay on longer than that would be refreshing. The one downside to Doctor Who at the moment, the gap between seasons is like 2 years.
Roughly, yeah. I'm fine with
Yeah.
a gap because all TV shows are having a gap now. Like nothing is on at the same time every year.
Yeah. It's just upsetting her can't get more Doctor Who really, but she also her seasons are really short. But I suppose they have a bigger budget now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really just the script quality has not been there as it has been in previous seasons, and maybe this season will turn it around. Maybe this is the best season of Doctor Who ever that's coming. Although I doubt it, but we'll see. But yeah, I currently would be more surprised if Jodie stayed on for a fourth season than I would be if she left.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking if she's had 2 10-episode seasons, and this upcoming one is going to be 8. I think she's just going to stay around for at least a 4th season, just to make it a nice round number and have the same number of episodes as their previous counterparts. I think it would be work. I think she would stay. I hope she stays, or at
Maybe.
least goes. Or at least goes to fin. Or at least she goes to Big Finish and has better episodes that way.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll go to Big Finish eventually, because she seems to actually really care about the role, and that's one thing. I mean, every Doctor's cared about the role, but her one's just a bit more tragic because the quality's not being there, and I don't think fans are as excited for it as they were in previous seasons. But I'd be surprised if she gets a 4th season. What I think could be interesting is if they do what they did with Tennant before Tennant left, and she just gets specials. And we get another weird Easter special. Remember they did an Easter special?
Oh God, yes.
Just any excuse to do a special. It's not a bad Easter special either. It's like on a bus with a desert thing going on.
I do not like that episode.
Yeah, I could see her getting some more specials. A 4th season, maybe, but I'm still expecting her to leave the show. To be fair,
Well,
that's
a
just
man
recency
can
bias
dream.
because there was all that fan theory. But
A man can dream that she has more.
yeah, and I mean, I kind of want her to regenerate just because I get excited whenever the Doctor regenerates. Like, it's
Going
always
back-
exciting. Like, ooh, who's the next
going-
Doctor?
Going back to that thing earlier, it doesn't feel like she's been a Doctor at all so far. Like she's not
I
had
know.
any moments, and I think she needs a win.
Yeah,
I think if anything should change, I think Chibnall should be changed.
I think Chibnall should regenerate. Although I don't know who I'd get to run the show out besides Chibnall.
Nicholas Briggs.
Yeah, but if he's running the show, I think Big Finish would either stop or change hands.
Nicholas Briggs.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say really on that note. Do you got any other?
Neither do I.
Cool.
It's
We've
late.
been just for context. We just recorded our 4th episode, which was the 11th hour, and we ended up talking about it for 2 hours. So I hope you're looking forward to that episode because it completely drained us for doing this new segment.
I have a migraine.
We've been recording now for like 3 hours straight. So we're tapped out. So I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, it's
Join
been
us
relatively
next.
slow.
Join
Next
us
week for
next
Rose.
month. Next month we're doing
I
like
know.
all the big soft reboots of the show. I think are you okay?
Yeah. For June, the June content we've got, we're doing. We'll be covering Rose, the 11th Hour, and the Woman Who Fell to Earth, which are the 3 big like. Oh, the show's changed showrunner, or got showrunner and then changed. And so it's basically the 3 reboots of the show, and it's going to be interesting. It's been fun revisiting them, so I hope you're looking forward to those audio dramas. Yeah, these are professionally produced audio dramas. Can you tell I'm tired?
Forgive us.
June is a fun month of content. But yeah, next week it's Rose, the first of the 3 series reboots essentially, and it's a good one. But yeah, you can find us on social media. Facebook, Who Watches Who. YouTube, Who Watches Who. Twitter, @Watches Doctor. You can find me @Cloth223. This podcast is available wherever you get podcasts. Apple, fucking Google Podcasts, Spotify. There's an RSS feed down there that you can plug into your podcast app of choice, and you'll find us immediately. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. Do you, Scott?
Nope, I just want to end. I'm tired.
I'm so tired. I can feel my eyes wanting to close. So, good
Send
night,
us,
everybody.
send us an email. Send us an email.
Oh, yeah.
At
Email
who
us
watches
at,
whopod at gmail.com. Who watches
Who
whopod
watches-
at gmail.com.
Who watches whopod at gmail.com. Email us any questions, comments, fucking who's your favorite dog, whatever you want, and we'll probably read it on the show unless it's offensive. But yeah, other than that, fucking good night. I'm so tired. I hope you see you next week, man.
Bye.
The fun thing is these drop at like 8 a.m. so we're gonna be like dead tired as the episode comes out. So